Chapter 21. The Talk. From the previous chapter. Wow, this skill packs quite a punch. It's no surprise that Lucifer is considered the strongest sin series skill. And look, it appears we've arrived. Continuation. Third person POV. In the northeastern part of the world, also known as the Ice Continent, lies a land perpetually shrouded in ice. If any normal person were to enter here, they would die immediately due to freezing. Normally, no one comes here because of the cold temperature. However, today is a different case, as many powerful individuals have gathered here. They are assembled after stopping the rampaging daughter of God, Milf. In the icy room, constructed entirely from ice, a round table serves as the focal point around which individuals are seated. Facing each other at the table are Rimuru-tempest and Guy Crimson. Positioned to Rimuru's right is Velzard, a true dragon whose power is second only to that of the gods. Though he may sometimes prefer pursuits outside of combat, his strength and prowess are undeniable. His mere presence exudes power, authority, and the potential for destruction and chaos. Currently, he is engrossed in manga. On Rimuru's left is the newly evolved true demon lord, Milf, who lies unconscious and asleep. Standing behind Rimuru is Diablo, whose loyalty knows no bounds. Opposite them, Guy is accompanied by Velzard to his right and Rammus to his left, both beings of immense power and influence. Standing behind Guy are Rain and Misary. These beings are seated here to discuss the aftermath of Milm's rampage, but the conversation hasn't started yet. Rimuru POV. Now that we're here, what's our next step? Well, I want to take care of Milm. I'm also interested in hearing others' thoughts. What do they suggest? As for the importance of their opinions, it doesn't matter much to me. If anyone opposes my thoughts, then I'll just make them accept them. Guys, now that we are here, can anyone please tell me who this person exactly is? Rammus asked, breaking the silence once again. Yeah, Rammus, you don't know him, right? Then allow me to introduce him, Velz said to Rammus. There's no need for you to do that, Velz. I will introduce myself, I interjected before Velz could proceed. I want to make my introduction as cool as possible, and I am sure that Velz will not make it cool. So the best option is to do it myself. Yes, Rimuru, go for it. Show them your awesomeness. Yes, master, go for it. Also, don't act too childish. What are you trying to say exactly? Forget it, I'll just focus on the current situation. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the fifth true dragon. Void Dragon, the embodiment of nothingness, the ruler of void. Rimuru-tempest, I declared, making a grand gesture as I opened my draconic wings and released a fraction of my ore. And yes, I once again altered reality to avoid destruction. Everyone, besides Velzard, is on edge due to my ore. What power and the fifth true dragon? So all those years ago, the voice of the world announced it was you that explains your power. But still, it's a big shock to see you in person, Rammus said in an astonished voice. Over time, the concept of the fifth true dragon became a myth and legend. Despite the voice of the world proclaiming my evolution eons ago, there was little to no evidence of my existence, leading many to dismiss me as a mere fantasy. Only beings like Rammus and the primordials, who have witnessed the passage of time, have knowledge of my existence. Who cares what others think about me anyway? I only care about the opinions and thoughts of the people who are close friends with me, or with whom I share a deep bond. I couldn't care less about others and their opinions. My purpose is not to entertain them, my purpose is to live the life I want. Yes, indeed. I am the fifth true dragon, and I was the one who was announced by the voice of the world all those years ago. I agreed with her, settling into my seat as I retracted my oar and folded my wings. So what should we do now? I mean, about Milm. She is still young. And about you, Rammus, you also absorbed quite a lot of magic. Are you okay? Velz asked, bringing up the questions that we all like to know. Well, there's one thing I would. Guy was about to say something, but Milm suddenly woke up from her sleep. Whoa, where am I? Yes, Gaia, where is Gaia? He was hic killed sob. Milm started to cry upon remembering her dragon. I immediately moved near her and hugged her. Shh, there's no need to worry about anything, Milm. Now that I am here, everything will be fine, I said to her, offering comforting words. But hic was killed, and I can't sob. She began to utter some incoherent words, but I interrupted her and continued to comfort her. Don't worry, he is fine. And you will be fine too, I reassured her as she continued to cry. After some time of crying, she finally fell asleep. Do you want to meet your friend? I asked Milm after she stopped crying. She had cried in my arms for almost 2 hours. Really, Noda? She asked me, and now her mood had completely turned around. I think she has inherited Veldor's personality. Yes, really, you can meet him, I said to her. Really real Noda, I mean really real Noda, she asked me again, but in a more cheerful voice. Yes, of course. Why would I lie to you anyway? I replied in a fake disheartened voice. It's not like I was doubting you or anything. It's just I was shocked. Yeah, that's it, so don't be sad, Noda. She said it in a panicked voice. It's nothing. So tell me, do you really want to meet him? I asked her again. Yes, of course, Noda, she said it in the most joyful voice. Okay, then, I replied to her. Ciel, where is he now? Master, I have collected his soul, later revived him, and put him inside imaginary space. Currently, he is sleeping, we can bring him outside any moment you want. I see, that's good to know. After talking with Ciel, I transported him straight into milf's arms, and now she is jumping with joy. Yeah, Noda, you're alive. Noda. She exclaimed joyfully, her excitement reminiscent of that of a carefree child. Well, to us, she's just a little kid, so it's not entirely out of place, I suppose. By the way, who are you, Noda? She asked me out of the blue. Yep, that confirms it. She has inherited Veldor's personality. Oh no. Now I have to deal with one more problem, child. Damn you, Veldanava. Well, I am the strongest being in existence. I am the 5th true dragon. Void dragon, the embodiment of nothingness, the ruler of void. Rimuru-tempest, I formally introduced myself. You're a true dragon, like my father and my aunt. Does that make you my uncle? She asked me, tilting her head. So cute. I see, so she doesn't know about Veldor yet. But damn, she's cute. Well, yes, I am a true dragon, but no, I am not your uncle, I clarified. How's that? If you are a true dragon, then doesn't that make you my uncle? She asked again, tilting her head. I think I am going to die today from too much cuteness. I'll explain that later. For now, just know that I am not your uncle, but rather a true dragon. You can think of me as your brother or something like that, I explained, as it's a bit difficult to go into details now. Okay, Noda. So you're my brother, Noda. Anyway, thanks Noda, she said. Well, that's out of the way. Hey, Ciel, is it a good idea to evolve her ultimate skill? I don't think it's wise to give her a skill that might make her go berserk. What if she does, and we're not around to stop her? She is strong, after all. Yes, Master, I think it's a good idea. I see. Now Ciel is also agreeing with me. So, milf, would you like to be friends with me? I asked her. Friends, Noda. What is that, Noda? Is it something tasty? She started asking questions. No, milf, friends are not food. But if you want, I can make some food for you. Actually, there's no exact definition of friends, but some people say that a friend is someone we trust or someone with whom we share mutual affection. There are many more things, and honestly, I don't know the true definition either. But I would like to become friends with you and find out together, I said to her. I don't understand what you said, Noda. But I will become friends with you, she said to me. Then, how about it? Let's become best friends who always look out for each other, I said to her. Yeah, Noda. You are my brother, Noda. And we are best friends, Noda. We are besties for the resties, besties for the resties. She said the first part was getting embarrassed, and the second part was a cheerful voice showing her enthusiasm. Ciel, you're up now. Yes, Master. Creating a soul corridor with milf was successful. Forcefully evolving the ultimate skill Wrathful King. Satnal of milf was successful. Milf has acquired a new ultimate skill. Destruction God. Shiva. I see, so her skill also evolved into God series skill, huh? Well, could you tell me what it actually does? Because of the sound of its name, it gives me the impression that it is one of the strongest skills. Well, you're not wrong, Master, because her skill is indeed one of the strongest. Only a few skills can compete with hers, such as our Azathoth and Shub Nigurath, Veldor's Nyarlathotep, Guy's Nodens, and a few more. Regarding its abilities. Ultimate skill. Destruction God. Shiva. Subskills. 1. Thought acceleration. Accelerates the user's thought processing speed up to a factor of millions of times. 2. Magicil's Breeder Reactor. This ability is fueled by the user. It also grants the user the ability to create stardust energy and utilize it. The amount it can generate depends on the user's proficiency in using stardust energy and mastery of the skill. This function is present to prevent the energy from becoming overwhelming and potentially harmful to the user. milf does not possess the same level of control over stardust as Veldanava. 3. Stampede. An upgraded version of the previous Stampede. It has a new function that acts as a self-defense mechanism, ensuring that the user remains in control and does not succumb to rage-induced destruction when the Stampede is activated. In short, the user will remain sane when Stampede is activated. 4. Star Barrier. An always active multi-layered barrier around the user made of stardust. It can be deactivated at the user's discretion. It provides foolproof defense against any type of attack, equaling the performance of Uriel's Absolute Guard and Michael's Castle Guard. It is possible to break through it with skills like Veldor's Probability Manipulation. The odds are 50-50. 5. Space-time domination. Grants the user complete control over the elements of space and time, enabling them to perform actions such as space-time connection and instant motion with ease. That covers all the details of her skill. Damn, that's one heck of a powerful skill she's got there. And if I'm right, when she fully masters her ultimate skill, she'll be as strong as Veldor, right? Indeed. After witnessing her skill, I can confidently say that the title Daughter of God truly suits her. What was that, Noda? I just heard something about my skill, Noda. And now I feel more powerful than before. She exclaimed in excitement. It's nothing, milf. I just evolved your ultimate skill. It's a gift from me to you, milf. Consider it the start of our friendship, I replied to her. Third person Pav. At this moment, milf is so happy. She is happy because she is able to meet her dead friend again. She is happy because she found a new friend. Not just a normal friend, but a best friend who also considers her a sister. In truth, milf didn't fully understand what sister actually meant, but she liked it. The simple act of having someone care for her brings milf immense happiness. For the first time, she feels truly looked after, a feeling she's longed for but never experienced. And that's why she made a vow to remain by her new best friend's side forever, and help him whenever he wanted. Little does anyone, including milf herself, except Ciel, know that she's beginning to develop a brother complex, or, should we say, an Oni-chan complex. Though she may not fully understand the complexities of her feelings, milf embraced them wholeheartedly, cherishing the bond she shared with Rimuru, and eagerly anticipating the adventures that lay ahead. Despite not fully grasping the intricacies of her emotions, milf embraced them with open arms. She cherished her connection with Rimuru, and looked forward to the adventures that awaited them. There will be no Rimuru milf ship, I just made this for fun. They will not enter into any kind of romantic relationship in my whole story. However, there might be some funny brotherly and sisterly moments, but no romantic relationship. Rimuru Pav. Calm down, Ramers. These things are normal for Rimuru. If you stay with him, you will understand, Velz said, trying to compose Ramers. Yeah, it's normal for him. And if you guys are finished, there's one thing I would like to do, Guy said casually. I have a feeling that it's something about his game with that hero. What is it? I asked him, though I have my suspicions. Nothing much, it's just a little idea I had. I thought it might be interesting to establish a Demon Lord Council. Each of us would govern our own territory and manage our subordinates, if you have any, Guy explained. And now I am positive that he's just trying to use us as his pawns. Well, I don't mind because he can't control my actions. And even if he tried, I just have to remind him of who I am. Well, I don't mind, especially since absorbing those magicules corrupted my soul. It means I'll enter a reincarnation cycle, keeping all my powers and memories, but my personality will change, much like you, true dragons. And in about 25,000 years or so, I'll likely return to my original state. So, you could say I've fallen from grace and become something akin to a demon lord. So, I'm all in for joining this Demon Lord Council. Ramers said, making her opinion known. That sounds so cool, Noda. I'm in, Noda. Let's do this. It will be so fun. milf exclaimed in her ever-cheerful voice. What now? I know Guy just wants to use us in his game, but is it a good idea to let him involve milf? Should I join too? You know what? Screw it, I'll just join. It's not like Guy can order us around. I mean, Ramers, milf, and I are stronger than him. So I don't think it will be a problem. And even if he tries something, then I'll show him exactly who I am. If milf is on board, count me in too. But what's in it for us? I accepted his offer and asked what I would gain in return, because why should I help him in his game with the hero for free? How about this? You can have your forest as your territory, and we'll figure out the rest later. Guy said, trying to come up with something. So, are you trying to imply that you have the power to decide where we live? We've been there for a long time, and that territory belongs to Velzard now. It's not like I want any territory anyway, I said to him. Velzard and I have been living in the forest for a long time, and some years ago, Velzard declared that forest his territory. Velzard, why don't you give your forest to Rimuru here? Guy pretended not to hear me and said this to Velzard, trying to intimidate him. But it didn't work in the slightest, and Velzard was about to say something in return to him, but I cut him short. As we talk, the room grows tense, with the question of who owns the territory hanging over us, overshadowing our previous conversation. Just because your ultimate skill has evolved doesn't mean you can beat Velzard. Even with your Lucifer evolving into Nodens, Velzard remains stronger than you and always will be. And just so you know, I'm the one who evolved your ultimate skill into Nodens. I did it out of curiosity, to see what kind of skill would come from it, I said, exerting pressure on Guy. Lately, after evolving into a true demon lord and taking on the mediator role from Veldanava, Guy's been getting ahead of himself. I guess it's time to bring him back down to earth. What kind of problem do children have to deal with? And it seems you're forgetting some things, Guy. So let me remind you of a few things. I closed my eyes, letting the tension build in the room. The atmosphere grew so tense that Rain and Miss Airy found it challenging to maintain their composure. Even though I may not show it, I opened my eyes, activating my eyes of destruction, and continued speaking. Chapter 22. The Four Ancient Catastrophes. From the previous chapter. Even though I may not show it, I opened my eyes, activating my eyes of destruction, and continued speaking. Continuation. Third person Pav. As Rimuru opened his eyes, the world stopped. His golden eyes, now adorned with red patterns, emitted a threatening glow, as if challenging the very concept of existence, ready to erase anyone who dared to move even slightly. At his mere glance, Rain Emissary collapsed on the ground, while everyone else in the room stood frozen. Their movements stopped like statues while trembling in fear. I, visibly trembling, struggled to maintain composure, on the verge of insanity, under Rimuru's mere gaze. Each individual in the room trembled with terror, their very essence shivering in awe of Rimuru's power. Even space and time itself seemed to stop in reverence for his fraction of power, as if pausing to witness his might. As Rimuru surveyed the room with his piercing gaze, satisfaction washed over him. Locking eyes with Guy, he gave him a death glare before continuing to speak. I am the strongest being in my entire existence. I am the supreme entity, the one who rules over everything, the ruler of all existence. And this is just a mere clone of my true body, which barely scratches the surface of my fraction of true power. Yet, I am the strongest and stand above everything, even above Veldanava in his prime state. If I bring my true body here, then my entire existence will be erased just by being in my presence alone. Such is the magnitude of my presence alone, without even using any real power. And I see this whole creation as just a tool to cure my boredom, a simple plaything. Existence is nothing more than a mere fleeting thought to me because I can turn the entire existence into nothingness without even thinking, let alone using my power. So remember these words carefully. I am the supreme deity, the one who rules over everything, the ruler of all existence, the embodiment of nothingness, and the ruler of void, Rimuru-tempest. And everything begins in the void, and everything ends in the void. So don't even think of controlling me or my close friends or their actions, then, be it directly or indirectly, as I have no desire to erase your concept, especially since I consider you one of my close friends. So take word of advice, and from now on, carefully consider your words before speaking, for they can often wield more power than actions. Rimuru's words sliced through the air with an icy coldness, chilling even the depths of Velzard's eyes. And as he finished talking, the room fell into a dense silence. Rimuru, through his words, conveyed an unspoken warning to Guy. Don't go ahead of yourself, and don't cross paths with me. If you do, I'll show no mercy. Right now, Guy's whole body is violently shaking, and he is on the verge of fainting and going insane. For the first time in his entire life, which has spanned since the dawn of creation, Guy Crimson feels fear. He is scared of Rimuru to his very core. Just seeing this version of Rimuru has made him lose his sanity. In this moment, Guy made a vow, which is, he will never, ever cross paths with Rimuru, and no matter what, directly or indirectly, he will never go against him or make him angry by any means, even if it means facing death. Because, compared to what Rimuru would do, death would feel like a blessing. On the other hand, Velzard looks like she could collapse on the ground at any moment, just being in the presence of Rimuru. Now she understands what Rimuru truly is and how powerful he is. Meanwhile, the people in the room are also not faring well. Ramrus is trembling in fear and on the verge of losing her mind, to the extent that she didn't hear nearly half of what Rimuru said. Right now, she is stronger than anyone else in this room except Veldora and Rimuru. But even this much power is nothing in the presence of a fraction of Rimuru's power. Milm is just being Milm. She only understands the first part of what Rimuru said. That Rimuru is the strongest being, even stronger than her father. And for her, that is so cool. But still, unconsciously, her body is trembling because of the power radiating from Rimuru's eyes. Veldora is doing better than the others, but still, he is shaking because this again reminds him of just how powerful his brother is. Other than that, he doesn't feel much. He starts to read his manga, trying to ignore what is going on, but his body betrays him because, no matter what, his body can't stop shaking. Diablo is faring better than everyone else because, as Rimuru's subordinate, he has Rimuru's special blessings. And because of that, he is doing better than the others, managing to stand with some effort. But still, he is scared and shaking, just like the others. But despite everything, he is starting to feel pleasure from this. A weird creature. But in the worst condition are Rain and Miseri, as they are lying on the ground without moving. Yet they remain conscious, and it is only because Rimuru is allowing them to stay conscious. If he didn't, they would already be dead since Rimuru opened his eyes. They are the most terrified people in the room. Rimuru Pav. Well, what are you trying to say? I never said that I could order you and you can do whatever you want. Guy stuttered, his voice trembling. Oops, I think I overdid it a little. But it seems Guy has understood his position. I see. If that's the case, then there's no need to intimidate him any further. That was so cool, Master. I have recorded this scene to watch in the future. Haha. And Master, you should act like this more often. Whoa, why are you embarrassing me, Ciel? And what do you mean you've recorded it? It's so embarrassing. Nothing, Master. It was just your imagination. Yeah, right. Like hell, it is. Whatever. I'll just focus on what's going on, and I'll see you tonight. I see, so I take it that you understand what I was trying to say. I asked him, this time in a normal voice, while deactivating my eyes. I wanted to make sure that he got the message. Yes, I clearly understand, he replied, his voice hurried and relieved. Well, I guess everyone is on edge because of the little stunt I just pulled. I should change the atmosphere in the room quickly because it's not good at all. So, let's make the four of us official members of the Demon Lord Council, Rammus suggested, trying to change the atmosphere in the room. That's a good one, Rammus. Yeah, we need a name. A cool name. Milm suddenly joined in. Well, if it's only about a name, then how about the four ancient catastrophes? I mean, the four of us are more than catastrophic beings. So, I think it will suit us very well, I suggested. I just want to change the atmosphere in the room. Yes, it is a good name. So from now on, we can call ourselves the four ancient catastrophes of the Demon Lord Council. Guy said, finally compassing himself. It's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. Nota Milm suddenly started shouting things like that and threw a tantrum. What's not fair, Milm-chan? Could you please tell us? Rammus asked Milm. Only Bestie got a cool title like the Ruler of Void and I don't have any. We are besties for the Restars, so we should both have a title, not only him, she said it loudly, and started making a cute face again. Well, if you want one, then how about Rimuru giving you one? He's your best friend after all, Velz said, giving me a side glare. I glared back at her, but she didn't back down. It was clear she was trying to push Milm's responsibility over to me. Fine. Fine. I'll give you a cool title, okay? I sighed, resigning to my new task because Velz wasn't backing down, and I didn't want to treat her the same way I treated Guy. Haha, said that sly ice lizard. Why does she smirk? I see what's going on. Don't worry, Velz, I have a good revenge plan for you. Let's see, she's Velda's daughter, so that makes her the daughter of God. And she also destroyed quite a lot of areas, so destroyer also sounds good. I get it now. How about this? The daughter of God. The destroyer, or, in short, the destroyer. I suggested it to them. Yeah, that sounds cool. Milm exclaimed happily. Hey, what about us? Give us titles too. Guy interjected. Geez, how much pride do you have to compose yourself this fast just to show that you're not scared? Fine, I'll give you both titles, I replied. Guy is a primordial demon, so the Lord of Darkness would suit him. And as for Rammus, she is a spirit queen. Hey, Ciel, do you know what Rammus's main ability is? Yes, master. Her main ability is creating separate dimensions, like a dungeon, which are separated from the world. I see. Then how about the spirit of the labyrinth? Yeah, that will be good. I will give you both titles, but don't complain if you don't like them. So, Guy, for you, how about the Lord of Darkness, and for Rammus, the spirit of the labyrinth? How does that sound? I asked them. The Lord of Darkness, yeah, it sounds good and evil. I like it, Guy remarked. How does it sound good and evil at the same time? The spirit of the labyrinth, it does sound good, but how did you know about my main ability? Well, considering who you are, it would be pointless to ask you. Well, I like it anyway. Rammus also expressed her approval. Okay, then, from now on, Milm will be known as the daughter of God. The destroyer Guy will be known as the Lord of Darkness, and Rammus will be known as the spirit of the labyrinth, I majestically declared. Third person Pav. Thus as Rimuru declared, the three of them heard a voice, and that voice belonged to the voice of the world. SHT, here we go again. It was akin to when Rimuru heard the voice when Veldanava bestowed upon him a title. And that voice said, Milnava, the true demon lord, has been given a title by the supreme deity, the embodiment of nothingness. The ruler of void, which is the daughter of God. The destroyer. That's what Milm heard. By Crimson, the primordial red, the true demon lord, has been given a title by the supreme deity, the embodiment of nothingness. The ruler of void, which is the lord of darkness. That's what Guy heard. Rammus, the spear queen, has been given a title by the supreme deity, the embodiment of nothingness. The ruler of void, which is the spirit of the labyrinth. That's what Rammus heard. And just like Rimuru, their new titles also became one with them and engraved on their souls, just like their names. But all of this was also heard by two other people. Rimuru and Ciel. They were able to hear because they were above the voice of the world. After that, Guy silently ordered Miseri, instructing her to announce them with their titles as the official start of the Demon Lord Council. Understanding her silent command from Guy, Miseri stepped forward and announced. Allow me to formally introduce the Demon Lord Council, also known as the Four Ancient Catastrophes. The first seat. Demon-True-Dragon. The Great Demon Lord, the embodiment of nothingness, the ruler of void. Rimuru-Tempest Sama. The second seat, Demon. The Lord of Darkness. Guy Crimson Sama. The third seat, Dragonite. The daughter of God, the destroyer. Milm Nava Sama. The fourth seat, Spear Queen. The spirit of the labyrinth. Rammus Sama, she announced. There's no known species name for Rammus in her true form state in LN. Rimuru Pav. Well, that went smoothly. Hey Guy, do you plan to organize meetings like this every time we welcome a new member, or whenever someone has something to share with the group? I inquired. I'm asking because if he intends to arrange pointless gatherings in the future, I wouldn't waste my time attending. Instead, I'd rather relax at home with my friends and have Ciel by my side. Yes, that's a possibility. Is there a problem with that? He responded. Well, personally, I don't mind. But I'll only join meetings that I deem important. Are you okay with that? I told him. Now that I think back to our previous discussion, I doubt he'll oppose my decision. Well, having more power than necessary also has its perks. I'm fine with it, but if there's something important to discuss, then you'll need to attend, Guy asserted. Works for me, I agreed. Attending occasional meetings won't bother me. It could be a good way to pass the time. It's fine if he doesn't attend every meeting and only shows up for the important ones. Just having him as part of our group is sufficient for me. Haha, now there's no chance of winning for you, Rudra. These were Guy's thoughts. If all this boring stuff is over, then please, Rimuru, make some delicious food, Noda. You promise me, Noda. Milm started with her antics again. Well, I did make her a promise about cooking for her. Might as well keep it. Alright. I'll make something tasty for you. Hey Rain, I nodded in agreement, ready to ask Rain about the kitchen, when suddenly I sensed Grynd approaching us. Milm, I'll cook for you, but not right this moment. I promise I'll whip something up for you once we're done with our guest, I assured her. Velzard also seemed to have noticed Grynd's arrival. Hey, bro, it looks like we've got company. I can sense that sister is on her way here with someone, he remarked, nonchalantly flipping through his manga. Sometimes, I can't help but wonder if giving him that entertainer skill was a bit of a mistake. Sister? Whose sister? Rammus asked. You will know soon. And Velz, it seems that Grynd is on his way here. Doesn't that make it feel like a family reunion? So, why don't you help me in the kitchen? If I remember correctly, you like to make something for your siblings, right? I said to Velz. Actually, I don't know if she likes cooking or not, but if I recall, she's decent at it. This will surely put her to work. Take that, you icy woman. It's my revenge for before. Ha. Why would I like that? And no, I won't help you. You have to do this by yourself, she said in an irritated voice. I think I've fulfilled my life's mission. But don't worry, Velz, I still have a card up my sleeve. I see, but if I remember correctly, aren't you decent at cooking, right? I asked her, knowing it would provoke her a little. Did you really like to poke me like that? And no, I am good at cooking, not just decent, she retorted, with a voice filled with irritation. It seems like the ice is finally starting to melt. If that's the case, then why don't you help me and show me that you're good at cooking, not just decent? I said to her. I'm sure that will do the job. I see, so that's what you're up to. In that case, I will help you, she said, giving in. And that's my victory. Master is becoming more and more childish lately. Hey, it's not like that. It's just that there are only a few people that I can talk to like this. We're close friends, and friends act like this. So, there's nothing childish about it. There, don't be upset, Master. I am not upset. Hi. Just wait, I'll see you tonight. Hey guys, you can continue your lover's quarrel later. So, please tell me, who is this Grynd exactly? Rammus interrupted with a mischievous glint in her eyes. We are not lovers. We retorted in perfect sync, denying any hint of romantic involvement. See, you two even talk in perfect sync. I think you're destined to be together, Rammus teased, enjoying the banter. That's enough, Rammus. It seems our guest has arrived, I interjected, wanting to shift the focus away from our supposed romantic connection, at least for now. And why are Velz's cheeks suddenly turning pink? Just as I mentioned Grynd's presence, she drew nearer. It seems that someone is also with her. I wonder who it is. With a resounding boom, Grynd stormed into the room, and here she comes, the hot-headed hottie that I know as Velgrynd. It's been a while, Grynd. I greeted her as she entered the room without a care in the world. Rimuru. I never thought I'd find you here. But then again, with Veldor's presence, it's hardly a surprise, she remarked, barely acknowledging my greeting. How cold of you, Grynd. You didn't even greet me. How could you change so much and forget about me, you dear friend? I am hurt. I said it in a disheartened tone, teasing her. Grynd's cheeks flushed slightly at my playful jab, a reaction I found intriguing. I haven't changed a bit. If anything, it's you who haven't bothered to visit me. HMPH. Anyway, how are you? And how's my idiot brother faring? She replied, her cheeks tinted with an unexpected flush. Well, I'm doing fine. As for your idiot brother, you can see I began, but before I could finish, an unexpected visitor interrupted our conversation. Where's Milm? I've come to take her. The newcomer exclaimed, bursting into the room with a voice filled with urgency and arrogance. In my story, Rudra is not a heartless person who just uses others as his pawns. Here, he's a good person at heart, but with too much arrogance and pride. Who the hell is he? Is he some kind of idiot or something? Hey Grynd, do you know this blonde? I asked Grynd, seeking clarification. Yeah, he is Rudra, my partner. He is the Emperor of the Eastern Empire, she replied, visibly embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed, Grynd. If my partner did something like this, I'd be embarrassed too. So, don't worry, I reassured her. It seems your friend has come here to chat with you. Why don't you two go and talk somewhere else, alone? I suggested to Guy that I was not interested in conversing with the newcomer. Well, he is my friend, but I don't think he's here to talk with me, Guy replied calmly. And who are you? You must be at least as strong as me to talk to Guy like this. So, Guy, could you tell me who this person is? Blondie inquired, his tone dripping with arrogance. He seemed pretty arrogant, even more so than Guy. Don't compare me with you, Blondie. I retorted, feeling irritated by his attitude. Oh ho, you sure have guts to speak to me like that. Ruta responded arrogantly. Idiot, thought Velgrynd, Guy, Velzard, and Rimuru simultaneously. There's no need to do that, Diablo, I intervened, seeing Diablo positioning himself behind Rudra with his scissors at the ready. You need not worry, Rimuru-sama. Ho, if I'm right, then you must be Noir the Primordial Black. So, Diablo is your name, huh? You seem pretty confident about beating me if you're calling me an insect, Rudra remarked, exuding confidence. Now that I look closely, he is in possession of Ciel. So, is he the brother of Velda's wife? Doesn't that make him Velda's brother-in-law? If he is Velda's brother-in-law, then he must have traded his previous skill with Velda for Ciel. I wonder what that skill is. It was Uriel, master. Rudra had Uriel before, and he traded Uriel with Veldanava for Ciel. If I remember correctly, then Uriel is stronger than Ciel, right? And Raphael is stronger than Uriel. Yes. Also, there's one more thing that I would like to tell you, master. Continue. Rudra's skill Uriel was stronger than the Uriel we had in the past. How so? If both are Uriels, then how come his skill is stronger than our previous Uriels? It's because our Uriel was a degraded version of the real Uriel, which was acquired by Rudra. Continue. That's where it gets interesting. You see, Rudra's Uriel had boasted additional abilities, such as law domination and space-time manipulation, elevating its prowess beyond our former version. In contrast, our Uriel was limited to law manipulation and spatial dominance, lacking the advanced sub-skills. Additionally, the evolution of law manipulation and spatial domination into law domination and space-time manipulation further emphasizes Rudra's skill superiority. But I don't understand how that happened. I mean, how did his skill have those sub-skills while ours didn't? The answer lies in the circumstances of acquisition, master. When we obtained Uriel, I was just a mere ultimate skill, and at that time, my prowess in handling skills was not at the level of a Monas. Moreover, our acquisition method involved the forceful evolution of other skills into Uriel, resulting in a degraded version. Nevertheless, it was part of the Virtue series, albeit a degraded version of the original skill. But in Rudra's case, he didn't forcefully evolve his skill. He acquired his skill through sheer willpower alone, resulting in the acquisition of the original skill, and not the degraded version like us. Well, his willpower is incredible. He is able to become as strong as Guy and Velz in such a short amount of time, just becoming a true hero. It is truly a remarkable feat. And his willpower and ego are even stronger than the willpower and ego of the true dragons, excluding us and Velda, of course. Nevertheless, it's remarkable because the will and ego of the true dragons are the strongest, only below us and Velda, and to have stronger willpower and ego than them is a huge feat. For that, he has earned my respect for sure. However, he is still an idiot to give up Uriel for Ciel. Well, it's not my problem anyway. That's enough, Diablo. Let him go. I ordered Diablo, and he backed away. Ho ho, now you're backing down, huh? He taunted again. I think he's purposefully trying to provoke us and get himself killed in the process. That's enough, Rudra. Even if you give it your all, you won't be able to defeat Diablo because he is as strong as me, Guy remarked, seemingly unaware of the situation. So what? Are you saying that you are stronger than me? I am as strong as you. Did you forget we were never able to defeat each other, and almost always ended in a draw? And if you've forgotten that, why don't we find out about it? Blondie challenged Guy. I am already impressed by him, he truly embodies the essence of a true hero. Truly, he is the true hero in mind, body, and soul. A worthy person to hold the title of the hero of the beginning. To reach the strength of a true dragon just by being a high human who has evolved into a true hero in such a short amount of time is an achievement in itself. I can see why Velda chose him as his student. Now it makes sense why Guy respects him and considers him his friend, but sadly, his ego, pride, and arrogance are too much. And from the way he is talking, it seems like he thinks that Ciel is stronger than Uriel, despite him being a former user of Uriel. No, master, he's well aware that Uriel surpasses Ciel. However, his current objectives require the use of Ciel over Uriel, leading to the trade with Veldanava. I see. Well, I'm not certain of his exact goal, I prefer not to know about it either. However, it seems that his prolonged use of Ciel, combined with his arrogance, has led him to mistakenly believe that Ciel is superior to Uriel. I suppose I'll have to humble him a bit. So what kind of problem children are around me? Hey, Blondie, why do you think your skill is the strongest? I asked, curious to gauge his level of arrogance and idiocy. My skill has an unbreakable barrier that no one, not even true dragons, can penetrate, he boasted. Out of nowhere, Velzard started to laugh. Hey, old man, what happened? Why are you laughing so suddenly? I asked him, puzzled by his sudden outburst. Yeah, Velzard, what happened? Vels also inquired. It's nothing, Sister Velzard. It's just that there's a character in this manga I'm reading who's similar to this human. He thinks he's the strongest, but when he meets stronger people, he tries to show off and ends up getting humiliated instead. The resemblance is uncanny, Velzard explained, still chuckling. So, while we're having this serious conversation, you're reading some books. Vels spoke to Velzard in a sweet voice. You never learn, you attack a dragon. Now deal with her, I said to him, noticing Vels looking at him with predatory eyes. I ignored Velzard's cries for help and again focused on the blonde. Even though Velzard is the strongest among them and their relationship has improved to the point where we can say that they act like normal siblings, his sisters still boss him around and assert their superiority over him. It's a typical big sister, little brother relationship. So if I'm right, then you currently have Justice King. Michael, right? I asked him. Yes, and how did you know that? He replied. Don't bother asking him, Rudra. This kind of thing is normal for him, Grind interjected. Well, that aside, it seems you traded your previous second strongest ultimate skill in the Virtue series, Covenant King. Uriel, with Velda for the third strongest ultimate skill, Mitchell. What an idiotic thing to do, I continued. Yes, and you're wrong. Mitchell is the strongest ultimate skill, he replied confidently. If that's the case, then you know about both skills, right? I asked him. Yes, I know about them. And if you're saying that Mitchell is the third strongest skill and Uriel is the second strongest skill, then which skill is the strongest? He inquired. It seems he has some brains after all. You don't need to know about that. Let me explain why Uriel is stronger than Mitchell. You see, Mechal's essence is the loyalty of his subjects towards the user, while on the other hand, Uriel's essence is the faith of his subjects towards the user. At first glance, they may seem similar, but when we look closer, the difference becomes clear. While Mitchell focuses on defense, Uriel balances offense and defense. Imagine two opponents fighting each other, each backed by their army of 1 million loyal and faithful followers. It seems evenly matched, right? Well, not quite. While Mechal's defensive prowess is commendable, it falls short when faced with Uriel's dual capabilities. Uriel's offensive edge, coupled with the unwavering faith of its followers, can penetrate even the strongest defenses, such as Mechal's famed castle guard. But that's not all. Uriel boasts additional skills like law domination and space-time manipulation, adding layers of complexity to his power. It's this versatility and strength that make Uriel stronger than Mitchell, because if the castle guard is penetrated, then there is nothing the user of Mitchell can do. Now, you might argue that Mitchell also possesses other useful sub-skills, and is not solely a defensive type of skill. It's true that Mitchell is not solely a defensive type of skill, and it has additional techniques like alternative, as well as sub-skills, such as Ultimate Dominion, Regalia Dominion, and Armageddon. However, in practical combat scenarios, the individual wielding Uriel is likely to emerge victorious. This is because Uriel demonstrates greater strength and potential compared to Mitchell. I concluded my explanation. Looking around the room, I could see everyone listening intently to what I was saying, especially Guy, Rudra, Diablo, Velz, and Grind. Well, that was quite useful information you gave us, Rimuru, Guy said to me. He seems pleased to learn about Mitchell's weaknesses. How did you know all about this? Blondie asked me, shocked. There are many things I know, but you don't need to know all of them. Anyway, I heard you came here to take Milm. Unfortunately, Milm has decided to stay with me, so she can't go with you. Isn't that right, Milm? I said to Blondie. Yeah, Noda. I'm going to stay with Rimuru, Noda, Milm affirmed. No, you're mistaken. I only came to check on Milm's well-being. Now that I see she's fine, I think it's time to head back. Velgrynd, let's go, Blondie said, preparing to leave. You can go, Rudra. I'll come later, Grind replied to Blondie. Fine. I'll see you later, he said before departing. Now that everything is finished, Miss Airy, could you please show me where the kitchen is exactly? And Velz, please come help me. I asked Miss Airy, teasing Velz a little. Yes, I am coming, Velz said. Yes, this way, Rimuru-sama, Miss Airy replied, leading the way. Hold it right there. Aren't we all primordials equal? Then why are you calling me Sama? I stopped Miss Airy and asked her. I don't understand why she's calling me that now, because before, they didn't address me like this. Yes, you are right, Rimuru-sama, but as a demon lord, you're equal in rank with Guy-sama, so as his maid, it's only right to call you Sama, she replied to me. Cut that crap. It doesn't matter if I am a demon lord or not. We are all equals, so you will address me like you used to before, and not only you, but Rain too. And if you are afraid of Guy, then don't worry, I'll talk to him, I asserted. Guy, is it okay with you if they address me like they used to before? I asked, or rather told him, while giving him a quick glare. Yeah, I don't mind. Do what you want, he said, trying to relax in his chair. See, now even Guy doesn't mind, I pointed out to them. Miseri seemed about to say something, but Rain beat her to it. Okay, Rimuru, here's the way to the kitchen. Could you teach me some of your recipes? Rain chimed in. Of course, why not? I replied, and we started walking towards the kitchen. Chapter 23. Some events that happened in my life. Rimuru Pov. It's been nearly 18,000 years since Milm's last rampage, and time has seemed to flow steadily since then, with few notable events breaking the flow. On the day when we created our Demon Lord Council, we had a party at Guy's place. Everything went well at that party, except for a few things. Present at the party were myself, Ciel, Velzard, Velgrynd, Milm, Guy, Rammus, Bildor, Diablo, Rain, and Miseri. After discovering that Ciel is my wife, Milm almost went on a rampage again, but we were able to calm her down. As the night progressed, the atmosphere grew more intimate, culminating in an unexpected turn of events. A moment of passion between Velgrynd and myself evolved into a steamy threesome. When Ciel decided to join in, it became a foursome, adding an extra layer of excitement to the already memorable occasion. And if you guys want, I can make a side story lemon chapter of this later. Tell me in the comments. At the party, we all decided to relax and have fun by letting go of our usual defenses and enjoying some drinks without holding back. Velz, feeling a bit competitive, challenged me to a drinking game, maybe hoping to get back at me for making her work before. Grynd, being Grynd, couldn't resist joining in, adding to the excitement with her friendly rivalry with Velz. As the night went on and the drinks kept coming, the contest became less important, and we all just focused on having a good time, laughing, and chatting. But with all that alcohol flowing, our guards were down, and things got a bit wild. Before we knew it, I found myself in a steamy situation with Velz and Grynd. And just when I thought things couldn't get any crazier, Ciel jumped in, adding even more fun to the mix. After the steamy encounter, I ended up having sex with Velz, Grynd, and Ciel, adding an unexpected twist to the already memorable night. The second morning, when we all woke up, we were freaked out because we were all naked in one room on a single bed. I was in the middle of the bed, Velz was on the right side of me, Grynd was on the left side of me, and Ciel was on top of me. But after that, we had a talk. Ciel said she didn't mind if they wanted to be with me, but Velz said she enjoyed sex with me, but as of right now, she didn't want to enter into any romantic relationship, and the same went for Grynd. Then Ciel proposed that we could have a relationship where we could satisfy our desires without getting into any romantic relationships. It's like we're very close friends and have a sexual relationship, but we're not interested in a romantic way with each other, like friends with benefits. Actually, after spending the night with them, I realized that I have feelings for them. But I didn't confess my feelings to them because when they told me they didn't want to enter into any romantic relationship right now, I thought that if I were to confess my feelings to them, there was a chance that they would change their minds out of sympathy, and I don't want anyone's sympathy. We are close friends and now only one step behind getting into a romantic relationship, and now if I were to confess my feelings to them, then they could change their minds because of me, and I don't want that. I want them to take this decision by themselves, and I don't want to force my opinions and feelings on them. I don't want them to reconsider their choices just because of me. I want them to make their decision without any pressure or something like that. That's why I decided to honor their decision and wait until they change their minds. After the next day. Wait Rimuru-sama. Don't go any further. As I was explaining the events that transpired during the time skip, the author of this story suddenly called me and stopped me. What do you want, author? I asked him in a rather irritated voice. In reality, the author of this story is a lazy bastard and didn't focus on making this story creative. I told that bastard to make the story more creative, but he didn't listen to me. Well, for the time being, let's listen to what he has to say. It's just that, Rimuru-sama, before you continue, there is something that I would like to tell the readers, the author told me, explaining his reason for interrupting. First, you act lazy, second, you don't make the story creative, and now you are trying to interfere with my story. Did you really forget that I am the one who controls this and all of the stories and their authors, even if they are fictional or real? And if I want, then I can make anyone as strong as Veldanava. I can do as I see fit with all stories. If I want, I can kill anyone. Do I need to remind you? I said to him, trying to intimidate him. I hope that after scaring him a little, he might stop being lazy and become more creative. There is no harm in trying. I know, Rimuru-sama, but it's very important, he said, seeming rather desperate. Fine, for this once, I'll let you do this, I said and backed down. Thank you, Rimuru-sama. I will never forget your kindness, he said gratefully. Just finish your thing, I said to him. Seriously, now he's starting to irritate me even more. But I wonder what he wants to tell the readers. Author's Pov. Hahaha, finally, I was able to take the lead. Now readers will be able to listen to my thoughts. Haha. Did you say something? Rimuru-sama said it in a sweet voice. No, Rimuru-sama, it must be your imagination. I use the infamous Ciel style Uno reverse card. TCH, she taught you, huh? I need to see her tonight, he said, leaving. Haha, all hail Ciel-sama. So the reason I am doing this is because I want to tell you something, and that is. Actually, Velzard and Velgrynd also have feelings for Rimuru, but because of their pride, they won't confess to him. That's why they told him that they enjoyed sex with him, but didn't want to enter into any romantic relationships right now. They only said this to avoid confessing their love to Rimuru. And when Ciel proposed the idea that they could have a relationship where they could satisfy their desires without getting into a romantic relationship, they were relieved and happy. They are relieved and happy because now they can satisfy their desires with Rimuru without entering a romantic relationship, and they can confess their feelings to him in the future. Also in my story, the progress of the romantic relationship between Rimuru, Velzard, and Velgrynd is slow. That's all. Rimuru-sama, I am finished. You can take it from here, I said to Rimuru-sama, showing as much respect as possible because I don't want to die by his hands. But if it's at the hands of Ciel-sama, then it's okay, I guess. Bastard, you dare not entertain impure thoughts about my beloved Ciel. Your audacity in imagining staining her purity shall not go unpunished. For this grievous sin, you will suffer eternal torment at the hands of Azathoth. Azathoth, unleash your infernal wrath upon him for all eternity. Rimuru-sama's voice thundered with chilling intensity, sending shivers down his spine. It threatened its very existence. No, Rimuru, I beg of you. Raiders, pray for my safety. Third person Pav. As Rimuru's menacing voice resounded in the empty void, a gate materialized following his command, its mere presence radiating unimaginable power beyond anyone's imagination. Soon, the gate opened, releasing an ominous aura that screamed of power, authority, death, despair, destruction, chaos, torment, suffering, life, and creation. As the gate opened, a hand emerged from the other side, pulling the author inside with an irresistible force. Upon arriving on the other side of the gate, the author's eternal torture and suffering commenced. His cries, filled with pain and anguish, echoed throughout the empty void, an occurrence that seemed impossible but still transpired. As his tormented voice reverberated, the gate closed and disappeared, leaving behind the terror of Azathoth in the empty void. Rimuru Pav. It serves right to that bastard for thinking something indecent about my beloved Ciel. She is mine and mine alone, no one has the permission to think any impure thoughts about her, not even you readers. And if you think something is indecent, then you will also suffer eternal torment at the hands of Azathoth. And if you guys are wondering how this story will continue after the author is gone, don't worry, because for my story, only I am needed. Things like the author, characters, readers, and others are nothing but fodder in front of me. As long as I want, the story will continue, even if the author is dead or suffering eternal torment, and can't write this story anymore. Because I am above everyone and everything happens as I wish. It doesn't matter what happens because, as long as I wish, the story will continue. Now, where was I? Ah, I remember. So, after the next day, Ramrus returned to her place. Grin stayed with us for 1 week, and during that time, we had sex more than 7 times. Then she returned to that blonde. But I, along with Diablo, Milm, and Vildor, stayed there for some more time. During that time, Milm named her pet dragon. When I asked her if she gave him the name Gaia, or if Velda gave it to him, she explained that she was just calling her friend by the name Gaia, but in reality, he didn't have any real name. She hadn't named him before because she wasn't strong enough. So, I told her that now she was strong enough to name him, and she did it. She named him Gaia. We stayed at Gaia's place for some time, and during that period, I had many threesomes with Velz and Ciel. Around this time, Velz began to transform into her teenage form using our intrinsic skill, universal shapeshift, and her teenage form is incredibly adorable. In that form, she appears to be around 16 or 17 years old. They, along with Ciel, wanted me to change into a child because they wished to see my cute childish face. My child form looks like this. Initially, I rejected their request, but they didn't back down and forced me to change into a child form. With no other choice, I resigned to my fate and transformed into my child form, using my intrinsic skill, universal shapeshift. In that form, my age appears to be around 8-10 years old. After transforming into my child form, they nearly squeeze me to death, and every night when we go to sleep, they cuddle me. At that moment, I realized that, regardless of the situation, a husband can never win an argument with his wife. He always has to listen to his wife, no matter what, because if he doesn't, he'll end up sleeping on the sofa for at least a week. Moreover, they even forced me to stay in this form for almost all the time, except when we were having sex, of course. After leaving us, Ramrus entered the cycle of reincarnation, and her new incarnation is in a fairy form, or more precisely, now she has become a pixie. She's quite an annoying one. Even after getting incarnated into a fairy, pixie, form, she still has all of her powers and nearly all of her memories, so she still knows us. However, after incarnating into fairy, pixie, form, her personality has changed. Now, her personality is quite annoying and childish. Then, a few centuries later, we returned to our forest. Milm also came with us. Milm has also mastered her ultimate skill in the centuries following her rampage, and now she is as strong as Veldor. They are equal in strength, but Veldor possesses more skills than Milm, and he is more skilled than her. This is due to her Tempest arts and his Veldor-style killing art. If they were to fight, it would be very difficult to determine the victor. This is because Milm possesses the Magicule Breeder Reactor, and extremely powerful defensive and offensive abilities. On the other hand, Veldor can borrow Nihility energy from me to match her Magicule's Breeder Reactor. Additionally, he is more skilled than her and possesses a probability manipulation skill, allowing him to penetrate her defenses. So for now, we can say there are 50-50 chances of either one winning. Around the time we returned to our place, a primordial angel destroyed some nations and evolved into a true demon lord. His name is Dino. After his evolution, he approached Guy to join our demon lord council, and Guy also accepted him. Then Guy arranged a Walpurgis. When humans came to know that we had formed a demon lord council and were going to have a meeting, they started to call our gathering the Walpurgis. We accepted it because it sounded cool. At first, when Guy invited me to Walpurgis, I was not going to attend and declined his invitation. However, later, I began to ponder why a primordial angel would want to join a primordial demon. This piqued my curiosity. And like any other person, I decided to satisfy my curiosity, so I chose to attend this Walpurgis. So, upon meeting him, I became certain that he had alternative motives behind joining us. So, in that meeting, we accepted him as one of us and granted him the 5th seat on the Demon Lord Council. After the meeting, I invited him to my place for some interrogation. At first, when I started to ask him about his real reason for joining us, he didn't say anything. But after some talking, he spilled the beans. He said that Velda had given him the job of observer and watcher of this world. He was just doing his job, observing this world for a long time. But when Velda died, he became angry at humans and elves, but he decided to wait for Velda's resurrection. However, even after waiting for a few centuries, Velda didn't resurrect himself. So, in a state of anger, he destroyed some human and elven nations, and because of this, he, along with his 2 companions, Pico and Gracia, went from seraph to fallen angels. During this process, he evolved into a true demon lord. After calming down, he continued observing the world as Velda instructed him. Until one day when his fellow primordial angel named Feldway, who is also their leader, approached him and told him to join us and keep observing us. Feldway thought that because of his evolution into a true demon lord, we wouldn't become suspicious of him. But sadly, this Feldway guy doesn't know who he is dealing with. So, he did what he was told, and that's why he joined us. However, I wasn't convinced by his story because, no matter what, it seems unnecessary to send him to us just to observe us. So, I pressured him further. Even after pressuring him, he said that he doesn't know any more than this. He told me that Feldway didn't tell too much to his subordinates. Feldway thinks that his subordinates do as he says and follow the orders without asking or knowing much. But he also said to me that he also thinks that Feldway has some alternative motives behind sending him to us. After conversing with him, I asked about his skills, suspecting that he might possess abilities open to control, akin to how Michael can control all angelic series skills. Initially, he was hesitant to share this information. However, when I activated my eyes to threaten him, he relented, revealing not only his own skills, but also the skills of other angels he was aware of. He possessed one ultimate skill and one unique skill. His ultimate skill, Heaven Lord. Astarte, was bestowed upon him by Velda long before Velda even met me. Astarte's primary ability is to evolve skills in the direction desired by the user. Even a unique skill can transform into an ultimate skill if the user possesses sufficient energy. An example of this is his unique skill, Sloth, which he evolved from his extra skill, Axity. He acquired this extra skill due to his perpetual laziness, which only served to elevate his indolence to a spiritual level. It was truly the perfect skill for him. After evolving into a true demon lord, he finally had enough energy to evolve his extra skill into a unique one. Upon discovering his possession of an angelic series skill, I realized that Feldway might have intentions to exploit him for some purpose. There's a possibility that, upon Rudra's death, he could acquire Michael. Given that Rudra is an arrogant idiot and his arrogant demeanor, it's possible that his actions may lead to his downfall one day. And there is a possibility that Feldway might acquire Michael following Rudra's death. So after that, Ciel and I discussed the topic and decided to let Dino stay with us for a while to observe his personality and motives. In just a few years, he earned my trust, and we became somewhat good friends, but he is still lazy as hell. However, I had a rule in my place that stated, if you don't work, then you will not get any food. Since the food in my place makes everyone addicted to its flavor and makes them want it more as they eat, he had to work, willingly or unwillingly. Also, Rammus visited us quite often, and he and Rammus also became good friends, but whenever they met, they always started bickering with each other. And Rammus has started to call Veldor Master. She calls him that because they started reading manga together, and because Eldora is stronger than her and more experienced in reading manga, she calls him a master. Dino and I have become such good friends that he even told me about his life when Velda was alive. When Velda was alive, Dino always remained by his side. On the battlefield, he was the sword of Veldanava. After hearing that, I tested his sword skills, and after that, I can confidently say that he is so skilled in swords, that he is the greatest sword master in the whole tensura world, and one of the greatest sword masters in all of existence. In the tensura and fiction worlds, he stands only below me, Ciel, and Veldanava. And Ciel and I are the greatest and most skilled in all kinds of fighting styles like sword art, martial arts, and all other arts like that in the entire existence, including the tensura world and fiction world, which are inside existence. Continuing, he mentioned that when he was away from Velda and carrying out the assigned tasks given by him, Velda married Lucia, and they had milf. Later, Velda passed away. Upon learning of Velda's death, he was angered but decided to wait a little. However, even after centuries passed without Velda resurrecting himself, Dino became enraged. It wasn't just normal anger, he was super angry, losing all his senses. In a fit of rage, he destroyed the nations involved in Velda's death, harnessing the creative and destructive power of a star to reduce those once prosperous nations to nothing. However, in just a few years, he earned my trust, demonstrating that he was not working with anyone. So, Ciel and I decided to destroy the control circuit with his ultimate skill. I entrusted Ciel with this task. However, I soon realized it was a mistake to allow her free reign and let her do as she wished. But by then, it was already too late. Instead of destroying the control circuit in his ultimate skill, she evolved his unique skill, Sloth, into the ultimate skill, Slothful King, Belphegor. Later, she integrated both the Start and Belphegor. In that process, Dino acquired a new ultimate skill, Fallen King, Astaroth, which is as strong as both the Start and Belphegor combined. The abilities of his new ultimate skill are Fallen King, Astaroth. Subskills. 1. Thought Acceleration. Accelerates the user's thought processing speed up to a factor of 1,000,000. 2. Analytical Appraisal. Analyzes and assesses the target. 3. Fallen Catastrophe. The ability to store energy as long as the user is in bed and not moving, or, in other words, lazing around. The capacity of energy to be stored is not limited. 4. Fallen Thanatos. It allows the user to enforce the concept of death like sleep on anyone or anything, forcing them into an inactive state. This ability works even on inanimate objects and spiritual life forms who have no biological need to sleep, and cannot be resisted by willpower alone. 5. Force Evolution. The ability to evolve skills in the direction that the user desires. Unique skills can even evolve into ultimate skills if the user has enough energy. 6. Space-time Manipulation. It allows the user to manipulate and utilize the elements of space and time, allowing them to perform a space-time connection or even instant motion, depending on their proficiency. 7. Demon Lord's Haki. 8. Multi-dimensional Barrier. After seeing his skill, I can say that if he masters his new ultimate skill, then he will be pretty strong and a force to be reckoned with. Also, I gave him his title because Guy was planning something lame, so I told Guy that I'd decide his title, and he could choose all the other people who would join us in the future. The title that I gave him is the Progenitor of Sword Techniques. He is the greatest sword master in the world, so I thought that this title would suit him. After a long period of time, nothing special happened. We spent our days lazing around, occasionally engaging in fights, and, from time to time, I also had sex with Velzard and Velgrynd. Additionally, milf has taken a liking to pranking. She always tries to pull pranks on me, often without considering the consequences. One time, her prank went awry, resulting in the destruction of an entire nation. She seems indifferent to the well-being of others, excluding a select few individuals. A few centuries ago, a giant named Daggerel joined us, accompanied by a vampire. Although I have not personally met them, milf informed me that they are not yet awakened demon lords, and they are not that powerful either. She said that this Daggerel is slightly stronger than Dino, but weaker than Velgrynd. Ciel also told me that he is the one whom Veldanava fought all those years ago, the giant Mad King Titan, and later divided him into 3 giants. She mentioned that Daggerel is the oldest of the 3 brothers, and also the king of his nation, which is inhabited by giants. He and his younger brother rule over that country, while the middle brother is sealed by Velda. After he joined us, Guy instructed Dino to stay with Daggerel. I don't know why, and I don't care either way because as long as Dino wants to go, then it's fine. And even if he doesn't want to, it's not like it's my problem anyway, but it will be quite interesting to watch their dispute. Surprisingly, Dino listened to Guy and went to live in the nation of giants. He must be thinking that he can live there without doing any work. Lazy bastard. And about the vampire, Ciel said that her name is Luminous Valentine, and she is the queen of all vampires. Ciel also mentioned that there is a possibility that Luminous might possess a demon lord seed. Well, it's none of my business, so I didn't think about it too much. The new people who joined us are aware that there is one more demon lord in the Demon Lord Council, but they don't know that it is me. They only know my title, not even my name. They only know that there's one more demon lord, and his title is the embodiment of nothingness. The ruler of void, and that's all, nothing more, nothing less. It's been so long, and I haven't made any appearances in public, so people are starting to forget about me. They think that there are only 6 demon lords. Guy, Melum, Ramrus, Dino, Daggerul, and Luminous, and not 7. Should I make my existence known? Nah. Who cares about that? I am fine as long as the people I am close with know me, like my fellow primordials, true dragons, and other people like Ramrus and Dino. These 2 new demon lords only know that there is one more member, but they do not know that it is me. It will be fun if I suddenly appear in the Walpurgis. But not anytime soon. Because there is no need to make them aware of my existence, as it is not beneficial to me in any way. So let things remain as they are. I also told Ciel to do something to make my life more interesting, because I am starting to get bored of following the same routine. After listening to me, she altered reality a little and made some changes, telling me that the results would come in a few thousand years. I wonder what she did. This is starting to become so interesting. During this period, Guy was starting to act weird. He asked me out on a date for some time. At first, I thought it was just a joke and let it slide, but after 2 or 3 times, it started to get on my nerves. Still, I kept my cool and declined. But when he came to ask me for the 4th time, I was about to lose it, but Ciel got really angry. And angry means super angry. She got angry to the point that even I don't want to see her like that. After that, she took him into the imaginary space, and altered the flow of time there. I think she and Azathoth did something to him. I don't know how long they were there, because for me, they were gone for only a second, and I don't know what she did with him, either, because when she returned, she had a delighted expression. I was going to ask what she did with him, but after seeing Guy's condition, I didn't want to know anymore. After that incident, Guy didn't talk to me for more than 1,000 years. And after 1,000 years, he started talking again, but this time he didn't ask me out even once. Good for me. And whenever he sees Ciel or her name brought up, he starts to shiver from fear, and his eyes have the look of utter terror, as if he could die any moment. From that point on, he has gotten PTSD from Ciel. Really, I didn't even notice, and already 18,000 years have passed since we created the Demon Lord Council. Master, someone is trying to enter this timeline from another timeline. Would you allow them, or should I send them back? Who is that person? Do they have some kind of skill that lets them travel between timelines? And are they from Tensura or the fiction world? I still remember when Ciel told me the truth of existence. It was surprising, but not unexpected. Flashback. Continuation from Chapter 17. The Supreme Deity. It's too much to take in all at once. Just run an appraisal on me. Also, you mentioned the fiction world and Tensura world a few times. Could you explain that to me as well? Chapter 24. The one who rules over everything. From the previous chapter. I still remember when Ciel told me the truth of existence. It was surprising, but not unexpected. Flashback. Continuation from Chapter 17. The Supreme Deity. It's too much to take in all at once. Just run an appraisal on me. Also, you mentioned the fiction world and Tensura world a few times. Could you explain that to me as well? Continuation, Rimuru. Yes, Master, I will explain that later. But first, about appraising you. Please forgive me, Master. I can't measure our powers. What do you mean by saying you can't measure my powers? How is this possible? After coming into the void, Master began absorbing the healthy energy, eventually becoming its source, and merging with the essence of the void. After this, Master became a being beyond anyone's imagination, a supreme being who is even beyond everything, even beyond the concepts of void and nothingness, a being transcending even the very concepts of true omnipotence, true omniscience, and true omnipresence. Now, Master's power goes beyond measurement, transcending the very concept of measurement, and surpassing even the void and nothingness themselves. The void is the fundamental origin and conclusion of all existence, while nothingness is the origin of the void, the concept that exists beyond the void. Existence as we know it merely exists within a fraction of the void, while Master stands as an entity beyond the void. With such unfathomable power, Master's mere thoughts possess the ability to shape everything, even reality dances to Master's wishes. Now, whatever the Master desires comes into existence and becomes reality. At a whim, with just a mere thought, Master could obliterate Veldanava's entire creation, reducing it to absolute nothingness, including Veldanava himself, who transcends every concept in existence. Now, the Master holds absolute authority over everything. Now, Master is capable of both the destruction and creation of everything at will. Even I find myself at a loss when attempting to comprehend the vast depth of Master's power. It seems limitless, continually surpassing itself with each passing moment. At this very moment, Master surpasses their former selves, becoming stronger than how powerful Master was just a moment before. Master has now become the embodiment of power, a being who is above everything, a being who rules over everything. Now, Master has become, in the truest sense, the one who rules over everything and the king of all existence. What the fuck? How did this happen? I never intended to become this powerful. All I wanted was to become strong enough so that no one could control or interfere in my life. My only desire was to live a peaceful life, simply relaxing with Ciel by my side. Well, I can't change it now, so let's accept the fact that I've become stronger than I ever imagined and move forward. Yes, let's just go with this idea. As they say, if you can't change it, embrace it. That's what I'll do. Even though I have become strong, I still don't understand why, in this infinite or endless space we call the void, only the small place that Veldanava created exists. Why is there nothing more? Wait, can that be called space? In the void, space doesn't exist, so what is it? I'll think about that later, but for the time being, let's just call it space. Also, you still haven't told me about the fiction world and the tensura world. And don't say that I can be aware of this by using true omniscience. I know that I can, but I don't want to do that because if I do, then it won't be as interesting compared to hearing it from you. So just tell me. Hi. I get it. So, Master, the answer to both of these questions is the same. Actually, the void is divided into 3 parts. They're the part that Veldanava created, the part that Veldanava did not create, and the remaining part is the void. Explain. Yes, Master, so let's just call the place that Veldanava created, the tensura world, and the place that Veldanava did not create, the fiction world, with the remaining being the void. Veldanava was born in the void, and after being born, he had nothing to do. Eventually, he became bored, so he started to create the world in a fraction of space within the void. He began by creating time and space, and later, he created the rest of the world, which we know as the tensura world. In that world, he created many things, such as an infinite number of omniverses, and within each omniverse, there are infinite multiverses, and within each multiverse, there are infinite universes, and many more. Additionally, there are infinite timelines and parallel worlds. He also created infinite dimensions, including the spiritual world, the material world, the semi-spiritual world, the greater Holy Spirit of space, the greater Holy Spirit of time, the great Spirit of light, the great Spirit of darkness, chaos worlds, void worlds, dream worlds, promised lands, haven, underworld shell, the Star King Palace, and many more things. On the other hand, the fiction world is hard to understand because it was made directly by the void. The void has its own consciousness, but it's not like ours. It doesn't have any ego and can't think for itself. It just knows that it exists and has an infinite amount of space. Also, the void recognizes Master as its own master. So when the void started to become conscious and realized it had infinite space, it began to fill this space. That's when it created Veldanava and the fiction world. Also, at the time, it created Veldanava and separated the space that Veldanava is in, which is also known as the tensura world, the void, and the fiction world. That's why it's impossible for anyone to travel between these 2 worlds. Of course, as the ruler of the void and the king of all existence, Master can freely move in any world he desires at will. The fictional world was also created by the void. In the fictional world, there are several people who are as strong as Veldanava or even stronger than him. In the fiction world, there are infinite layers that separate each world inside the fiction world, and these layers are parallel to each other. For the people inside the layers, it's impossible for them to go beyond one layer, because the void has made these layers using nihility energy. No one from either the tensura world or the fiction world is capable of withstanding the presence of nihility energy or using it, so these infinite layers cannot be destroyed by anyone, regardless of whether they are from the tensura world or the fiction world. And that's why no one knows about these other worlds, and they can never cross between the worlds inside the fiction world either. There are worlds in the fiction world that have an infinite number of omniverses, and each omniverse has an infinite number of multiverses. Also, some of these worlds have their own void, but it depends on which world it is. Wait. How is it possible to have an infinite number of omniverses in one layer? Because if the layer is separating the worlds from each other, then there should be a limited amount of space inside each layer, right? Yes and no, Master. What you're saying is indeed true in a conventional sense. Typically, the idea of layers implies a finite space, as one would expect. However, within the fiction world, the concept of layers operates differently. These layers, while distinct and separating worlds, are parallel to each other, extending infinitely in all directions. This means that each layer possesses an infinite expanse of space, despite its role in separating worlds. I see. That makes sense. If 2 parallel lines are infinite in length, then there should indeed be an infinite amount of space between them. Parallel lines, by definition, never intersect, ensuring an infinite distance between them. It's fascinating how this principle extends to the layers within the fictional world, allowing for an infinite number of omniverses within each layer. Continue with your explanation. Yes, you are right, Master. And new layers are continuously being added to these existing layers, which is why there are infinite layers. It happens because the void is always trying to fill its infinite amount of space. That's why it constantly creates new layers and adds them to the fictional world. But even if we were to combine all the space of the tensor world and the fiction world, it would not even be a fraction of the void's expanse. If we consider the void as 100%, which is impossible, then the combined space occupied by the tensor world and the fiction world would be like this. The void, 100% equals, the tensor world, 0.00.01% plus, the fiction world, 0.00.01% plus, the remaining void, 99.99.98%. As for the notable individuals in the fiction world who are slightly weaker, as strong, or stronger than Veldanava, they include. Note: the lists of names will follow in the subsequent message. So don't think that just because one name is above another in the list despite being weaker than the other, they are not listed power-wise. Monad. Anti-Principle. Anti-Sproul. World of Darkness. SCP. Scarlet King. Zenith. True Narrator. Jevo. The Truth. The Great Light. Abs. Essential Divinity. Mathaverse. The Creator. Gaia. Asernite. Downstreamers. Orin, the Absolute. The Weaver. Yog-Sothoth. SCP-3812. Ko. Hyperman. Destroyer. Floyd. The Super God Council. Vinrenseries. SCP-7709. Gan. God Unsung. Majestic Presence. Undoubtedly First. Gods of Manifold. Azthoth. The Fireman. Supreme Author. Judy. Red and Black Existence. The Worm. The Neverwhere. Saint Halagata. Dr. Bright. Celestial Child. Bondi. Novalaus. Swan's Proposal. Nyarthalop. Everlasting Entity. The Almighty. Lord of Nightmares. Elder Gods. Infinity Mind. Sephiros. Kanajiri. Cosmic Lords. SCP-001. Overvoid Lurk. SCP-2747. Grand Gods. Absolute Light. The Egg. Mag. Infinite Space. Back Characters. Cockroach, Subverse. Ultim Valor. Void, SCP-CNJN. Unity plus Mechane, SCP-CNJN. I Am That I Am, World of Darkness. Tennessee Narrator, Phyros Mythos. Full Sun Concealed, SCP-JNCN. God of Arkham, SCP. Buddha TF, World of Darkness. The Supernormal, SCP-CNJN. Sun Wukong, All of You, Chinese Mythology. Bumeru plus 3309, SCP-CNJN. Our Lady, World of Darkness. The Final Swans, SCP-CNJN. True Authors, SCP-CNJN. Not Applicable, SCP-CN. Infinity Mind, Supernormality. Iamoa, World of Darkness. Hypergiant Corpora of Knowledge, Self-Reference Engine. Ignorance, SCP-CNJN. King of Darkness Estes, Phyros Mythos. Scarlet Devil plus True Protagonist, SCP-CN. Irredeemable 2165, SCP-CN. Nemo Ex Machina, the Self-Reference Engine. Chaos, Zamaters. Quatern, SCP-JN. Abs, SCP-JN. Supreme Maker, SW. Comics. The Weaver. PS, World of Darkness. The Willed. PS, World of Darkness. The Clearlight, Twin Peaks. Upper Narrators, SCP-CN. Demons of Laplas, Self-Reference Engine. Cupeth, SCP-CN. Judy, Twin Peaks. Highest Interpretation. Malice, SCP-CN. Sephiro, SCP-CN. True Phyros Mythos. Aerith. Mog, Phyros Mythos. Cosmic Lords, FS Mythos M. Fireform, FS Mythos. The White Light, MMO. Mathaverse, Mathematical Operations. Hyperman, FS Mythos. Scarlet King, CNJN SCP. All Might, CNSCP. SMG4 Mario, Fanmadoc. The Alwit, SCP. Stories of the End. The True Administrator, CNSCP. High Elder Gods, JNSCP. Scarlet Demon. True God. Hajin. Kajiri. Truth. Kami Tenchi. Anos Voldigit. Yujiri Takatu. Creator. The Kuosai. Kratos. Cosmic Rimuru. True Creator Rimuru. The Presence. The One Above All. Fatharine. AN. There are many more beings, and this includes all 9 worlds, all fictional characters from DC and MCU, Lovecraft's creations, SCP characters, all light novels, and web novels. Essentially, it encompasses all the worlds that have been created up until now, including anime, other fictional characters, light novels, web novels, comics, and every character made in the real world that we live in. It also includes the real world that we live in. Wait, how many are there exactly? There are many more, Master. For now, forget about the strongest people. Just tell me, is there anything else? Yes, Master. The combination of the tensor world and fiction world is called the existence, and Master has become the strongest in the entire existence. This existence is only a fraction of the void, and the Master can create and destroy this whole existence at will. So you're saying that I am above all of this, including the void. Yes. You mean I am stronger than everyone else in existence? Yes. Hahaha, I've really become strong, huh? And why are there some people in the fiction world who are named God, Creator, Ruler of everything, and One above all, and things like that? The thing is, Master, because they can't go outside of the layers, they only have knowledge of their own world, and don't know that something beyond their world exists. So after becoming the strongest in their world, they gave or acquired these kinds of titles and names. I see. It makes sense now. If we are also in our world and become the strongest, not knowing about outside worlds, we will assume that we are above everything. Anyway, how do we know this exactly? Master, even though we have become true omniscient beings, you still haven't changed at all. Are you saying that I am an idiot? I never said that. I just said that you haven't changed. And now it's you who are saying that you're an idiot, so were you thinking that you were an idiot before becoming a true omniscient being too? TCH, you are too smart for your own good. Well, whatever, just tell me. HEHE smug face. It's because we are true omniscient that we have transcended our own concept of concept. Everything that existed, didn't exist, and will exist has already happened for us. Now, all actions are our doing, everything is known to us. Whether material or spiritual, everything is turned into simple information for us, including laws, concepts, and more. And that's why we know everything. I see. Now it all makes sense. But as a trial, can I be able to destroy the fictional world? Sigh, Master. In this moment, you've just annihilated the fiction world. Didn't I emphasize that your desires manifest into reality effortlessly? Your mere thought of its destruction has made it non-existent. Hahaha, did I truly obliterate the entirety of the fictional world? So, how do I restore it to its former state? Sigh, really, Master, just think about it. It worked, I've successfully reconstructed the fiction world to its previous state. Sigh, you are again starting to act like a child. But your different sides just make me love you more. Don't say such embarrassing things when readers are reading. You can say this when we are alone, not now. Damn you, author. Don't break the fourth wall, Master. Well, who cares if I break the fourth wall or not? Now, no one is stronger than me. I am above everyone, even the author, and not only that, but other authors as well. I can control this and all the other stories. Even if that's the case, don't break it. Understood. And why are you acting like my mother? Good. I am not acting like a mother, I am just making sure that Master is becoming a responsible being. One more thing, Master. What? It's about our swords. What about them? Master, with us, our swords also became strong enough that now your sword has become the incarnation of supreme destruction and the end of everything. It has the ability to turn any existing or non-existing concept, law, or being into void. Well, my sword is the opposite of yours. Damn, I didn't see that coming, but compared to what you just told me, it doesn't sound that strange. But still, even after knowing everything, I want to understand how Veldanava created this tensura world. From the outside, it looks simple, but upon closer inspection, it is incredibly complex. Even though I could become aware of how he made this world and everything about it, if I do so, it won't be interesting anymore. So, could you tell me how he created this world and everything about the tensura world? Understood. Before the creation, there was. Third person Pav. With that, Ciel began her explanation. What she explained to Rimuru is. Before the creation,